could you tell me about your economic plan?
My economic plan per se was the same plan that President Trump has um, for protective tariffs, because let's face it, this tariffs are starting to work right now, and we have to give them a chance. And the tariffs are designed to replace income tax for every American. So when we talk about tariffs, we're talking about something that is designed for every American in the end game.
Okay. Do you
I'm
believe?
also for lower
Oh,
taxation. I'm sorry, Robert. And I'm also for lower taxation and reduced regulations.
okay. Um, do you believe that the American dream has become unaffordable?
To a certain degree, yes.
Uh, Now, these are to the questions on how you would have voted. Um, would you have voted yes or no on the Epstein Files Transparency Act that went last year?
I'm not completely knowledgeable of everything about the Epstein Act. Um, I do not think it's necessary to bring this up to the federal level, though.
Okay. Uh, would you have voted yes or no on the Stop Illegal Entry Act of 2025?
Stop the Illegal Entry Act.
Yes.
When you say stop, to continue the Illegal Entry Act or stop the.
Oh, the act is the Stop Illegal Entry Act. So it would it's the border control act that would stop the crossing over of migrants from the southern border.
I would support the act per se that would keep illegal immigrants from just freely coming over the border.
Okay. Now, a couple of these questions, one, two, three, four, five more questions, but they're big and I'll allow you plenty of time to answer them. Um, According to census data, Illinois has lost almost 300,000 people between the last two censuses, while the US as a whole has gained a 7% growth in population. What needs to be done to make Illinois a state that sees population growth over the next decade?
Well, what we need to do is understand that this decline has happened under the Democrat control, both at the gubernatorial level, the state and state government levels. I think Illinois, per se, has the ability to become an industrial state again, and that must be restored.
Now, this past year, Senator Durbin was one of the few Democratic senators that voted with Republicans to reopen the government during the shutdown. This was a controversial thing. Now, if you were theoretically in Durbin's seat this past year, how would you have voted on that? Would you have voted to reopen the government, or would you have withheld?
I certainly would have voted with the Republican majority in support of opening the government.
Okay. Now, polling data shows that at least 70% of Americans believe that biological males should have no place in women's sports. This past year, Senators Duckworth and Durbin both voted no on the Protect Women in Sports Act. Would you have voted yes or no? Should biological males be able to compete in girls' sports in high schools in Illinois?
Men should not be allowed to participate in women's sports. That's how I would vote.
And so, just for clarity, you would have voted yes on the Protect Women in Sports Act.
Yes.
With the passage of the Big Beautiful Bill this past year, we got a no tax on tips in that bill. However, Illinois, along with Maine and the District of Columbia, have decided not to accept that and continue to tax on tips. Do you support taxing on tips?
No, I do not support taxing on tips. I support the president's agenda there.
Okay. Now, the last question, and again, thank you so much for taking the time today to work with me on this. Uh,
Robert, I appreciate the opportunity.
So there are multiple bills surrounding artificial intelligence that are in Congress now, floating around Congress, many of them with bipartisan support. What kind of guidelines, safeguards, and policies do you think the federal government needs to implement to keep Americans safe from AI and to keep Americans from losing jobs to AI?
AI scares me, and it scares a lot of people. And I think we need maximum protection for both industry and the individual citizen.
Um, was there anything else in this last few minutes that you would like to nail home about your campaign?
I think we should talk about healthcare, though.
Yeah, if you would like to give us a few points on healthcare, just anything that you would like to say on the subject at this point.
Well, there's the Great Healthcare Plan, the president, and it's about lowering drug costs, lowering drug premiums, more transparency, and make things more simple for the individual. I think it's very important. Incorporated in healthcare, we must not forget that there's a mental health issue in this country that must be addressed.
Now, where can people find more about you and more about your campaign?
Sure, thank you. rcarycapparelli.net. My full name, rcarycapparelli.net.
Okay. Well, I believe that is all the questions that I had for this round. Thank you so much, sir. This will make it, I don't think it'll run tonight because we do them in batches, and the next lineup one that I have is tomorrow. So we'll more than likely play tomorrow night unless my news director makes the decision to run yours tonight. But it will what we've been doing is we've been playing what like the first part on the economic plan, and then we've been sending the link out so that people could watch the whole interview and then add all the information that we need to in for later. Uh, did you have any questions about that at all, or?
No, I trust this is going to be um, cut and cut and dry, right? To just take the segments out.
Yep, yep. Nothing taken out of common, just take the segment, that question, put it up, talk about where we can find you, and then put everything up as it is on the web.
Can I ask you to ask me a question?
I'm sorry.
Can I ask you for you to ask me a question?
Yes.
Would you ask me what I feel the most important topic or most important, topic is in campaign?
Sure. So in your own words, what do you feel like the most important topic in the campaign is?
I've noticed that the other candidates always failed to talk about this issue. And the biggest issue we have is foreign policy, because everything revolves around foreign policy, our economy, our military, our cultures. Foreign policy should not be ignored. It should be a top of the line topic, especially with the global theater today between the Soviet, between Russia and China. You know, we have to keep things in order there. I had a friend. This is off top, off the. I had a friend. His name is Keith Duesenberg, and Keith is the grandson of the founder of the Duesenberg automobiles. He was born in Chicago, by the way. And I remember his father always saying, "Without foreign policy, you have nothing." You know, I think we have too many attorneys already. We have enough attorneys in Washington. We don't need another attorney. I think what we need is some economists and some geographers and people that understand foreign policy.
Um, Thank you again so much, sir. I'm going to get this saved and then we'll get it going for you. Just really appreciate you taking the time.
Now, Robert, what can I do now for me to see it? I go. Will it be on your website, for example? Since
Yeah,
I don't have access to
when
Springfield
we
TV.
run it the next day, it should be on the website, if not the same day, depending on because we have a digital team that uploads all of our content that we run online, but we have to like run it first. So if I will ask them to notify me when yours goes up, and I will get the link from them, and I will send it directly to your personal email.
I appreciate that. Thank you, sir. Where'd
No.
you go to journalism school at, Robert?
I went to UIS. I studied communication, so right in Springfield.
So UIS would be what, Sangamon University?
Yeah, yeah, formerly Sangamon University.
What is it now?
Just University of Illinois, Springfield,
Gotcha.
because it was bought by the U of I system back in, I, yeah, it was just, I can't even remember but yeah, it was Sangamon for a while, and then it transitioned over to UAS.
You got a minute?
I do.
So you may recall last week I asked you if I could have the questions ahead of time.
Hmm.
Remember that?
Yes.
So I tell you a little story. Do you remember a reporter on ABC Wide World of Sports on an ESPN named Chris Economaki? He was always the guy in the pits during the Indy 500.
I don't think I do, but I wasn't always watching a lot of racing.
He's quite well known in Indiana, and we did an event between the United States and the Soviet Union, go karting.
Mhm.
Go karting back then was quite big, and in the Soviet Union, it was run by the army. So all their drivers were actually in their military, and they were all called doctors of sport. And so we went there and we did this event, and ESPN came and covered it. And Chris Economy came up to me and said, "Hey, can I interview you?" I said, "Yeah, sure." I said, he goes, "Okay." He goes, "Get in line here, and we'll get in." And I said, "Can I have the questions ahead of time?" And he said, "No." He said, "If you're going to," he goes, "it's just like if you crashed the race car."